Now then, everybody, welcome to another Gridiron Reprobates live stream. The whole gang is back together, but before I introduce the gang, I need to make the usual warning that this is an adult show aimed at an adult audience, so we may talk about adult themes and use coarse language.
Yeah, motherfuckers, I'm back.
Never fails to disappoint. So let's introduce everyone's favourite potty-mouthed Seagulls fan. It's Phil. How are you, Phil?
I'm very well, thank you. Glad to be back. How are you?
All the better for having you back on the live stream, Phil. Another wayward son of the live stream is our favourite Scottish Bucks fan, Ryan. How are you?
I'm good. It's been too long.
It has been. It's been a long time.
For ages, which I have. So yeah.
I was going to say you have been away for ages. That's why it feels that way.
Yeah.
And the person who's been keeping me company while these two reprobates have been away from the live stream, it's Baz for Beak. How are you, Baz?
I'm pretty well. Still, I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm still angry. But it was a catch and not an incompletion, a touchdown.
Wow, something horrible's going on there.
Yeah, not sure where it's coming from.
There was some odd feedback.
I'm just going to mute you all.
Okay.
Unmute. So it's not coming from Phil.
Okay.
I don't
cool.
think.
No.
Is it coming? Who? This is cracking content. Oh, he's gone. Just like that.
Yeah. Well, he was on for a while.
Yeah, it was nice to have him back for a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's start where we always start on this live stream and talk about the Thursday night game. Well, it wasn't 2 weeks ago. It was a week and a day ago. The Thursday night game between Phil's favorite Packers and the Tennessee Titans. Baz, we said last week that the Packers needed to keep on winning, and they didn't at all.
Sorry, Packers fans. I'm sure they are there. Not sure they're watching this, at least.
Well, nobody's watching this, so
No,
that's fine.
that's true.
But does this mean, and I think I already know the answer, but does this mean that the Packers, Phil's gone? Everyone's just leaving.
Professional podcast.
Oh, we are nothing but professional.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can get this question out that I've been dying to ask you all. Does the Packers losing against the Titans mean their season is pretty much over?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Glad we got to the bottom of that.
Yeah. Let's be honest. They're lost in division.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can no longer win the division, so they need to get in on a wild card. It's still possible, but let's be honest. The way they're playing, I don't see them going on a run to win enough games to get that wild card position. So they're wildly inconsistent. Their offense is just garbage. They're not using the players they do have. So yeah, and their schedule coming up is punishing. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything going their way this year at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
So tell us all about why we should feel bad for the Packers there, Phil.
Nah, fuck the Packers. No, I don't feel bad for them. This has been coming because they did nothing to improve their roster over the off season, and this is what happens. This is not the relax season from a few years ago, where everyone was like, "It's fine, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to pull it out of the bag." This is not that. It's just not going to be that. The team is not built for that. I can't see them getting back here at all.
Nope.
They'll win some games probably, but they're not going to win enough.
No, and Baz was just saying the exact same thing. They've got a tough schedule coming up. The only way they can make the playoffs is via the wild card. They are far too far back from the Vikings to win the division. So, are the Packers done for, Ryan?
Yes.
Yes. Good.
The one thing you knew with their kind of lack of talent receiving on their offense, and I was also one of the ones that thought their defense would carry them even close to the division, but it's just not been good anywhere. Bizarrely, they beat the Cowboys, who are probably the most informed team or one of the most informed teams in the NFC right now. But I think that was just a flash in the pan for this season so far. Was maybe more on the Cowboys than the Packers themselves, possibly. But when you're sitting the same record as the Lions, it's not good.
I mean, I think you just touched on it there, Ryan. I'm far more surprised by how bad their defense is compared to... We knew their offense wasn't going to be great shakes based on their roster talent. But I'm with you. I was of the opinion that their defense was going to be, way better than it actually has been. So I think that's where they need to worry more than about... Because it's not receivers aren't 10 a penny, but it's easier to find a couple of receivers than it is to find an entirely new defense when you've just given a load of people new contracts. Yeah. If they manage, Jordan Love needs to throw to someone next season anyway, doesn't he?
But let's be honest. I think they're, if you're just plainly looking at it, if it wasn't for Rodgers, they would be one of the worst teams in the NFL for the past few seasons, I think. And with Rodgers coming to an end in the near future, I mean, much longer he will be there, but if it's going to keep going like this, I can see him going. So, yeah, it's. I think this is something the Packers should get used to in the next few months and next few years. They're going to be bad. Yeah. I mean, it's not gonna. It's not usual that you go from Favre to Rodgers, and then to another future Hall of Fame quarterback. So it's going to be hard. And just looking at their schedule coming up, they're playing the Eagles this week, then the Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Vikings, and the Lions. If they're lucky, they win 3 of those games.
I think they won one of those games.
Yeah, but if they're, I mean, I'm not sure they win the Lions. I'm not sure I definitely don't think they win against the Vikings or the Dolphins or the Eagles.
No. So
maybe the Bears or Packers or the Rams. But let's say they win 3 out of those. And that means they're 7-10. It's just not good enough.
Nope.
Oh well. What a shame.
if I was the Packers and you finally decide to give Rodgers that big contract to see him through potentially to the end of his career, if not close to the end of his career, for me, that period of time is your window. That's your Rams window. That's your getting Brady at the Buccaneers window. You give him as much talent on that side of the ball as possible, and they just don't seem interested in doing that.
Yeah. Trade away those picks from 2024, 2025.
Yeah.
Give them away. Now you can still win now. And nothing.
No, they don't seem interested in that idea at all.
Well,
oh well.
Let's talk about let's talk about their opponents then, because quietly, the Titans are putting together a pretty good season. Mike Vrabel's proving that he's probably one of the best coaches in the NFL. They don't do a lot of things well, but the things they do well, they do very well, and they rely on them heavily. And it works for them. They've got a ferocious defensive line, a pretty decent defensive backfield, and he is the best running back in the NFL. And I was worried going into the season that we'd seen the best of Derrick Henry, but he's proven me wrong. He's still very, very useful. And it's working. It's working for the Titans, and they're in a terrible division, so they're going to make the playoffs. And they're not. And I don't think anybody in the AFC is going to want to go and play the Titans because their defense is horrible to play.
Yeah, they are gritty. They are brutal. They know that they can't beat you on amazing attacking flair. You know, this is not some run and gun offense that's going to light you on fire. What they do know is they can grind you into dust and just make you feel horrible about yourself. It's like, our offense isn't working. Oh, that's sad. Here, have Derrick Henry in your face. And it works, you know. We were slightly concerned when they let AJ Brown go because it was going to impact the offense, and it has, but their defense is much better, I think, than it was last season. It was good last year, but I think it's become really, really good this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hard agree. What do you think, Ryan?
Yes, just shows how good a coach Mike Vrabel is. I think with the defense as well, a lot of the times it's just picking up guys for the street, putting them in there, and seem to be getting the most out of them. And I don't even necessarily think it's a lot of the time their kind of yardage given up in both passing and rushing game isn't that good, but it's the important downs, their third down getting off the field is unbelievable. Yeah, just a gritty, hard-working team. I wasn't as down on the Titans as I think you guys were prior to the season, and that was mostly due to Vrabel being the coach. Similar to Mike Tomlin in the way that it doesn't matter in terms of the quality on paper of the team. You're going to get a well-coached, prepared football team that will give, in kind of any given Sunday, give you a game. So, yeah, quite happy to see that part of my prediction seem to be going well so far.
Yeah, and I think it also helps that although Tannehill's start of week, he has been better the last few weeks, especially. So that makes the team so much more dangerous if you can get a few air yards. Makes Henry's job so much easier, and yeah, then you're just gonna get pounded.
Yeah,
every single time.
So, from one Thursday night to another Thursday night, the reason we are coming to you on a Friday rather than a Thursday is yesterday was Thanksgiving, and there were 3 unusually good games of football on. Usually, the Thanksgiving slate is not always good, but this year it was good. We got 3. Well, I didn't watch the third one. I was well tired, so I went to bed after the Cowboys game. But I saw 2 good games of football in the afternoon. So we'll start with the first one, which was, of course, the Bills playing against the Lions. A game that was way better than I thought it was going to be. Fair play to the Lions. I thought the Lions. I think the Lions' offense is definitely in kind of like borderline top 10 in the division.
Yeah.
And this Bills defense is very good. So for them to have been in the lead for much of the game was very impressive. They did Jared Goff impressed me, not as I don't think he's any great shakes as a quarterback, but there are times when he gets hot and he can play really well. He's a bit like Kirk Cousins in that respect. He can get hot and play really well for a game or two, but you can also, like Kirk Cousins,
shit
the bed. Yeah.
We can say shit here. It's okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot what stream it was on. But yeah, Goff impressed me against the Bills. What did you guys think of the Detroit performance?
It was it's very Lionsy. You know, they're a gutsy team. They play like their coaches. Their coach is very much like let's get up and get them. And they kind of play in that kind of way, especially on offense. Offense, they do stand out. Defense is a little bit suspect, and it's kind of what's cost them in most of these games. And we saw it again. It kind of went slightly opposite to the way I thought it would, which is I thought the Bills would get out to a big lead, and then Detroit would sort of work their way back in, but not enough. You know, they'd fall short as they had done in a lot of previous games. They sort of did it the other way around this time, but still managed to lose because they're the Lions, and that's what they do best. But at least this is the thing. If I was a Detroit fan, I'd be happy about the fact that we're at least giving these teams a game. But I'd be pissed at the fact we're not winning more of them. we're letting teams back into games, or we're letting teams off, or letting them get too far ahead.
Especially with the defense, I think it's just they're missing a few pieces. But compared to where they were at the start of the season, there is a definite, they're an upward curve for sure. And you see a player like Hutchinson is getting better every single week. You see why he was the second overall pick, and with the draft picks they have in the near future, because they still have some nice things coming, especially with the Rams pick that they have for next year.
That could be.
At the moment, it's a top 5 pick. I mean, it's great for them. So, then again, I think the Rams still take it as well. They got a Super Bowl out of it, so so they're quite happy. And yeah, they're building something, and it's compared to a few years ago, the Lions were always the boring team. They were never quite terrible.
Yeah,
a lot of times they were the 8-8, 6-9, somewhere in that region, and they were always just not right there. And you can say a lot of things. This team isn't boring at all. Yeah, they're so fun to watch. And I agree with Golf. He will make you so mad at times as when you're watching him, but he isn't terrible. He just isn't terrible, but he just isn't a top tier.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, but
well, he is who he is, and I'm sure the Lions will be able to upgrade this offseason, because they'll be in prime position to move if they wanted to get a quarterback, to move and get a quarterback, and still have draft capital left over to flesh out that defense as well. So I think they're in a really good position this offseason to make a run and become a bit like the Eagles, maybe, where they start to put a roster together that looks really, really competitive. What did you think to the Bills Lions game, Ryan?
Really enjoyed it. I was in a pub and had 2 screens, one World Cup and then one had that game on as well. So it was good to have them both. But just a fun game. I went with 25 seconds left. I know I shouldn't have, but I went to the loo and came back and the goals happening. I was like, what the hell happened there? I thought it was maybe going to be some stupid prevent defense, which I absolutely hate. But do you know what? That was just Josh Allen and Diggs' brilliance. So I kind of felt bad for the Lions there, but there's really not much they could have done with that. Put up a really good fight. Jared Goff, like you said, he's not absolutely terrible. I actually thought he was really good last night. But he'll do stuff that gets you mad at him for maybe sometimes a couple of weeks in a row. So that's why he's not going to quite reach that tier. But really fun team. Same record as the Packers. So they can be pleased with how their season's going so far. A couple of kicks, a couple of plays here or there, they'd have a winning record and be comfortably in that second place in the division behind the Vikings.
If you've got the same record, you'd rather it came the way that the Vikings have had it come rather than the way the Packers have had it come, if that makes sense. You'd much rather be the Lions, like, also close and we're nearly there but not quite, rather than there go the glory days.
Wave at them.
No idea how that feels like.
So something I wanted to bring up to see what you guys thought about it was, I am concerned that the Bills' offense isn't very good outside of Josh Allen. I think he is, like, if he wasn't Josh Allen, I don't think this Bills offense would be very good at all. They can't protect him. And his pocket movement is so good. And it's a delight to watch. But they're not protecting him. He has to dance all over the place. He has to make insane throws out of structure. He has to run the ball all over the place. And he can do all of those things. Don't get me wrong. This is not a knock on Josh Allen. This is, have the Bills done enough around Josh Allen so that if Josh Allen doesn't play like possibly the best quarterback in the league, they can win games? Because there were stretches against the Lions. This was the same. And the Lions, we know the Lions defense isn't very good. It's not terrible, but it's like a 20th defense in the league. When you're a team like the Bills, they shouldn't be troubling you as much as they were. And if Josh Allen isn't playing out of his mind, then the Bills don't seem to have an offense. And I find that concerning because really good defenses are going to really clamp down on them. So what do you guys think?
I think
No, you go, Ryan.
the big thing that's missing this year is the run game. It seems to be far too dependent on Josh Allen, which you can do, and you can win Super Bowls with that if everything falls into place. But long term, and when you start facing the better teams, it's going to be an issue. If Josh Allen has a poor game, it's going to be an issue. They don't really have that side of the ball, but they can create magic with Diggs and with Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox. They have that there, but there eventually comes a point when you can't protect Josh Allen, and he maybe picks up a wee knock, or you can't run the ball effectively, and you can't take time off that clock in big games and big moments. It's a worry, yeah. I wouldn't say they're not good.
No. I don't think that's.
They're really.
I don't think that's what I'm trying to say. I just think.
Yeah, but there's obvious issues.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
with it. Yeah.
There's a weak link in the armor. Yeah, the line. Yeah, it's. I don't know if it's the fact that the line isn't playing brilliantly is what's affecting their ability to run effectively outside of Josh Allen, or whether it's just that their running backs aren't playing particularly well. It could be a combination of both. They remind me a little bit of the sort of the Ravens during Lamar Jackson's MVP season, where it was Lamar Jackson can carry us through pretty much every game as long as he's playing well. But they seem to be sort of struggling, like you said, but they are struggling outside of him doing something magical. They're still winning though, and it's hard to take that away from them. So whilst I am mildly concerned, I don't think it's going to be a problem until
the playoffs.
Until probably the AFC Championship game, I think is where they're going to come. If it is going to be a big issue.
The division is so close right now. You can easily fall out the wild card places in that division right now. And in the conference, it's so close. If you go on a bad run of games where you're not firing, it can go bad really, really quickly.
Yeah, they're in the wild card spot at the moment, with the Dolphins being in first in the division. So if that happens, you're going for the division. Probably they'll either play the Chiefs or the Dolphins or something for the away. So
or the Titans,
which
I think could really mess them up. I think the Titans are well poised to
Titans
cause the Bills a lot of problems.
Yeah, but then again, the Bills' defense probably is also pretty well set up to stymie the Titans' offense.
Yeah,
so
I agree with
that's
that.
not going to be a pretty game to watch in the
No.
end, I think. Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be hard. The AFC is so damn tough this year, so damn tough, and you're gonna need everything. And you saw last year in the game against the Chiefs, Allen was magical, but then again, so was Mahomes. So
Yeah,
it did.
And
yeah, it was.
I feel like it's going to be Allen and Mahomes. Is going to be Brady, Manning for the next 10 years. and one of them is always just gonna nudge him out. And I think
Yeah, I
Mahomes
think
is
Mahomes
poised to always be just ahead, just
Yeah,
because.
I've been saying this. I think I've said this most shows. Is I think the Chiefs are going to become the next Patriots,
Yeah.
where they get to the championship game or the Super Bowl almost every fucking year, and we get sick of it. The only difference is Patrick Mahomes plays such magical football that we might be less sick of it.
Yeah, pretty sickening pretty quickly, I'd imagine, regardless of magic.
All right, let's move on to the next Thanksgiving game. Another good game where the New York Giants gave a good account of themselves against the Cowboys, but ultimately the Cowboys defense, I thought, was the usual good selves, and Daniel Jones proved that he's still Daniel Jones, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think it's really difficult to be too hard on the Giants because they have no right to be as good as they are. They're playing way above themselves. Daboll's doing a fantastic job. They probably will make the wild card. Actually, they don't have to win that many games in the NFC to make the wild card. So
they're probably all right.
Yeah, so it's difficult to be too hard on them. And they gave, like I said, it was a good game. They gave a good account of themselves. But yeah, I think this Giants defense is definitely in the top 3, and it's not 3.
You say Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones, but it's still, what the hell is he throwing to? Can you name other than Slayton? Can you name a single receiver on that team?
Smith.
Are you just gambling?
Yeah.
Nah.
It's like me going Jones.
You will be also wrong. He threw to Richie James, Isaiah Hodgins, and Chris Myarick.
Cool. Those are all names?
Yeah.
Those are some people.
The fact that he's still throwing decently, not great, but decently, is almost amazing in a way. But I think Dable at least is here earning his money this year.
Oh, definitely.
For sure. Considering what I expected of the Giants this year, it was nowhere near what they are. But considering the start of their season, they are on a slump downwards the last few weeks. So I figure maybe teams have figured them out a bit and are now exploiting that.
I think the lack of depth of talent is starting to show through. So that the work ethic, the plays, all that is good, but eventually talent does show through. Yeah. So it's like, if we can slow Saquon Barkley down and just put a bunch of pressure on Daniel Jones, that's kind of dealt with their offense. Because, as you said, I mean, what receivers has he got outside of Slayton? You know,
and Slayton isn't even a number 1. Slayton is at most is number 2.
Yeah, it's not like the line is like an amazing offensive line either. It's not bad. It's definitely improved from where it was. But it's I think it's just a lack of overall depth of talent. Like if you've got in like 2 more receivers there, and someone to spell Saquon Barkley occasionally to give you a slightly different option in the run, all of a sudden you're looking at a much different team. Yeah. And also maybe a greater quarterback.
It still amazes me that last year they had the most expensive wide receiver room in the league. I still don't know how they managed that.
I think the game last night kind of is the Giants we all know that they are right now. Where they're gritty, they've got a really good record, but the record doesn't exactly. They're not as good as what their record would suggest, but they're still improving, and they're getting there, and they can give a team like the Cowboys a good game. It's pretty much exactly where we think they are currently. And I think with them starting to lose games, they're going to regress to the point where we go, yeah, they've had a good season, but they're where we expected. And I think last night's game was pretty much the epitome of that for me.
Yeah. I mean, I expected, in many respects, I did not expect them to even win as many games as they've won already.
No.
They've already gone over the win total I would have guessed for them for this year.
Yeah,
So,
if you said at the start of the season 4 games, I would have said, yeah, that's the max.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've definitely outperformed expectations, which is a great. I think more than anything else, it's a great thing for Dayball because it just looks good for him. Because look what I've done with this group that aren't necessarily the most talented, but I've got way past the win expectation that we thought we would have.
But I think more like from a couple of weeks ago when they were 7-2 or something like that. I don't think anyone expected them to continue to improve on that. Maybe another win or two somewhere. I think everyone expected, right, this is who the Giants are.
Yeah. I'm not expecting
the losses would start to tally up.
They're not going to get to like 11, 12 wins anywhere near. Yeah. I think they'll probably end the season with 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I think that's where they'll end. Which is, I mean, if I was a Giants fan and you told me that at the start of the season with Daniel Jones as our quarterback, we were going to win 8 or 9 games, I'd bite your hand off.
Yeah.
I'll take that and run.
Yeah, I think it also helps for the future. I mean, with Dable now, they've shown at least now they have the competent coach. It will be easier to draw some good free agents and get some new free agents in the next couple of years, and improve that roster and really start building on something that is good.
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing, Baz. If you look at like the Jaguars and how much they've had to shell out to get free agents to come to them, if you can show the league that you've got a coach who's going to put you in a good position and get more out of you than you'd expect, then it's easier then to attract the free agent talent. So I think it stands them in good stead for next season, and I think they do have some talent on that defensive line that played very well last night. Caused the Cowboys a lot of problems. I think it's positives all round really. Cowboys keep winning; they look very strong. Giants, not your year, mate. But well done for doing better than we thought you were going to do.
With the Cowboys, I feel like they're, especially with their offense, they're very dependent on like 5 or 6 players, and they don't have a lot of that. I think if it goes 1 or 2 go down, it's going to be very damn hard for them.
No Tony Pollard, no Cowboys, in my opinion.
No, but also of course, they have CeeDee Lamb and Gallup as 2 very good receivers. But after that, it's a bit loss. They have a good tight end in Schultz, I think. And of course, Pollard is great, and Ezekiel Elliott is a good 1-2 punch with him now.
He looked fresh last night, Zeke.
After
a good few weeks off, he actually looked better than he has been. But the Cowboys are going to Cowboys at some point.
First round of the playoffs.
First round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
I fear that it might very well do, but that defense is so.
That defense could mess somebody. I mean, when they get to the playoffs, they could definitely mess a team up. They come up against. If they got a good matchup for their defense against whoever they're playing against, they could really upset a couple of teams and surprise. If they got to the championship game, not the Super Bowl, if they got to the NFC Championship, I wouldn't be stunned because of how good their defense is. And we've seen elite defenses carry a suspect offense to a Super Bowl. Looking at you, Broncos, a few years ago, with your crippled Peyton Manning hobbling off the way to the Super Bowl.
All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off then, Baz. The Vikings beat the Patriots in the final Thursday night game for Thanksgiving weekend. By all accounts, the Patriots didn't play too badly in 2 phases of the game, at the very
Yeah,
least.
it's the third one that surprises in a lot of ways. It's usually your specialty. It's that the special team didn't perform is unexpected. But yeah, for this game, I take a lot of positives out of play of Mac Jones and the entire offense. It was by far the best game we've seen of them this year, and it wasn't close.
Mm.
And it was a catch, damn it, and it was a touchdown for Hunter Henry. I don't know how that was an incompletion. The ball never touched the ground.
Yeah, I can understand how they might have ruled him down at the 1.
Yeah,
that would have
if
been
that was the
understandable.
point, okay, fair. We can argue about that, but I don't see any way how it was ever an incompletion.
Well,
That cost us a damn touchdown.
you know it was an incompletion because everybody thought it was a completion, therefore not a completion.
Yeah, those are the rules. Those are the rules.
Yeah, but even then, we have 4 extra points. We would still have lost. We just didn't convert in the fourth quarter, and we made some glaring errors with, especially the penalty on roughing the kicker, that turned that into a touchdown drive for them.
Mhm.
That was so damn
Yeah.
stupid.
I
think
thought
that- I
that
think
was a little unlucky.
Yeah.
You can clearly see he's almost pulling away as his head clips the guy's boot.
Yeah.
He's making the extra effort, and he's just
I
been a
feel
little
like
unlucky.
you can see the effort of the punter to keep his foot in the air as well, going, this
You
is
can see-
coming.
he sees the guy coming.
Yeah.
You can even see his eyes just like, yeah, he's there. I'm going to hit it,
Yeah.
hit it, hit it. Oh!
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He does make a meal of it as well. He full just, flips
Yeah.
his legs up and everything to make it
I've-
look a little bit worse.
I've
'Cause
got-
I don't think it wasn't that bad a hit.
I've got
No.
no problem with it though, because rules is rules, and you can't run into the kicker. So
No, it was 100% a penalty.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just,
It's
it's
quite
just
cool. It's just
not.
very unlucky.
It shouldn't have happened. It's such a damn shame. But yeah, I think the biggest reason we lost is we couldn't cover Justin Jefferson.
who can
I
cover
wouldn't
Justin
feel
No
yes.
Jefferson?
one, I think,
Bad.
it's not nothing bad on the Patriots defense. It's just we couldn't.
Mm.
That guy is absurd at this moment in time. It's absolutely insane what he's doing.
And
I mean, some of the coverages were perfect, and he just comes up with the ball and
Yeah.
it's weird because the Vikings have now got 9 wins. They're guaranteed a winning season. And do we feel confident about them going on a playoff run,
No.
despite
No.
having the best
Yeah.
receiver in the league, a fairly decent defense, a good running
because they have
back?
Garrett Cousins.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a very distinct problem with playoff games. They're played in prime time.
Yeah.
We all know that that's not where he shines.
And also, I must say, this season, their run game isn't as good as I expected from the Vikings.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook just isn't there where I expected him to be, especially with how good Jefferson is this year. You would expect more space to open up, and they're not getting there. I feel.
Yes, it could be. I don't know. I've not investigated, but it could be a change in style of offensive play calling. Oh, hang on. Hello. Can I help you? Yes, buddy.
Hi, kid.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Next.
I think the with that change in style that it just been mentioned there, it's seen the rise of Adam Thielen again, who for a few years was one of my favourite players. I just kind of loved how he played, but yeah, it's seen the kind of rise of himself again. But Jefferson's just the natural talent and ability there is just absolutely ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. He's this season quite clearly by far the best receiver in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's very close.
Sorry, Danny.
Yeah. Yeah. His body control is outstanding.
Mm.
Like, even in the air, he can just sort of somehow move himself so he can get those like extra yards as he catches it. He like contorts. He's like, "Yep, got it. Still in the air."
Yeah.
I also feel like the addition of TJ Hawkinson is very good for him.
That's very, very good. That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
Just a big body for the end zone. Just an extra target. It's just working so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's opened up a lot of things, but like you were saying, it just looks effortless. Like it's not even trying. It's almost like you're watching, and it's almost like Cousins put it in a bucket, and it's a lot of time it's not.
No, it's not.
It's
He's snatching it away from defenders. He's like, no, mine.
Yeah, but I do agree with the running game. Dalvin Cook's maybe not been as good.
Yeah,
and also I think prior to the season, everybody was possibly thinking as a number 2, Madison would maybe show more than he has.
Yeah.
But he's been quite disappointing as well. But yeah, Jefferson, just so glad he's in my fantasy team.
Yeah. Wish I had him.
Oh, the Vikings fan said something.
I don't know what you guys said, but he said that.
Yeah. Not sure whether it was in comment too, but okay.
All right. Have we got anything else left to say about the Vikings?
No.
I think we could have. I know if not all of us listen to the Athletic podcast, but they always have the bit. It's like, are the Vikings good or not? And they've had it every single week for the last 10 weeks or something. And I think none of us are as close to actually knowing.
The Vikings are good. They are good, but they're not going to win the Super Bowl, nor are they going to get there because they have to play in the playoffs, and they don't do that.
No, I mean, for that with the Vikings, the way they lost to the Cowboys last week is very concerning. It wasn't just a loss; it was a blowout.
Yeah. The situation the week before with the Bills as well, there's a lot of things there that just would not happen again. That catch on 4th and 17, that's a generational catch. The fumble on the
See, even the Vikings fan knows. Okay?
But yeah, it's very much in the same line as Cowboys, I think, for me, in terms of the playoff. Once the pressure comes to the playoff, it's like they're going to do it again.
Yeah, but that's the point with the NFC. Then we have the Cowboys. We are not sure of the Vikings. We're not sure of.
What if the Vikings play the Cowboys?
Yeah, but that's the point. There should be teams.
You have a cat and then you strap the piece of buttered toast to the other side, and it will just spin forever because one side has to land.
Yeah,
always land on their feet. Toast always lands upside down. It just spins forever. Yeah. It's just a never-ending game of who can shit it the most.
Yeah, but that's the point. Which NFC teams will do well in the playoffs then?
Seahawks.
I think it's obvious.
Yeah, other than the Eagles.
Oh, Brady. It's always going to be
Brady.
The Niners.
The Niners. I think the Niners are very dangerous.
Always do annoyingly well in the playoffs because they get to play the Packers. The Packers choke.
Well, they won't play them this year.
There's no Packers this year.
I know there won't be any Packers this year. But get Cowboys instead, who will.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys are
but I agree the 49ers are going to be a very dangerous team in the playoffs, I think.
Yeah.
The way they're playing at the moment, with the addition of Christian McCaffrey, it's a very nasty looking team. So.
Yeah, the only thing about the Niners is it'll come around with injury issues at some point again.
Yeah.
What you get up to in your personal life is no concern of ours, John.
Go and eat your sprinkled donuts, all right? You've had a good week.
All right. Let's cheer ourselves up by talking about Jets' general incompetence and the whole Zack Wilson saga has been a absolute delight to watch as a neutral
He's
fan.
a knobhead, isn't he? Jesus.
I'm thoroughly enjoying watching this and not having a vested interest in it.
How not to be a leader?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you let your team down? No.
No.
How many, you had more punts
And
than
only after his
completions there?
father told him that he was wrong in saying it, did he. Oh, really?
Yeah, he got in trouble off his dad. Is what happened. It's like the scene reminded Mr. Deeds, and I think it's the Jets quarterback phones up Mr. Deeds because his dad's giving him in trouble because he's calling the woman. It's that, and it's the Jets as well.
And I mean, we have
Oh,
seen in the past
yeah.
couple of weeks many quarterbacks who set up. Yeah, I mean, we have seen Josh Allen who say, "Yeah, you can't win if the quarterback is playing like shit." We
Perfect.
have seen it. It's perfectly fine to say, "Yeah, I play bad," and I'm sorry for the defense who played brilliantly in that game,
Yeah.
and that's it. And we need
That
to play
wins.
better. That's
Even
it.
if you don't
It's so
mean
damn
it.
easy.
Even if you don't mean it, say it because it wins you brownie
To be
points
fair,
with the rest of the squad.
on the flip side of that though, and definitely not in this case because Zack Wilson's still very young in his career. Me and Will had years of Jameis Winston going, "Yeah, it's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. It's on you."
Well, that was being honest.
And after 3 or 4 years of that, it's like, yeah, it is your fucking fault. Do something about it. So there does get a point where you're like, shut the fuck up. Like, do something.
Yeah.
But
But
Zack
if it's
Wilson
after
early.
years of that, then the front office should do something about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they eventually did.
And they
So
did,
it's-
and you got a Super Bowl out of it. So,
yeah. But leadership, I don't think leadership's necessarily taking the fall and eating wins and trying to rah your
no,
guys up.
but in this case,
It is when you're
after this game,
2.77 inches of play in the centre. In that case, just say, yeah, it was my fucking fault.
yeah.
I gain more inches than that every time I eat a pizza.
It's not like he just played well the entire game and threw in the interception that went pick six, and that's what lost him the game. That can happen. It's not a big issue. It's just it was god awful.
Yep.
Absolutely god awful the game. I'm a Patriots fan, and I had to turn it off because the Patriots were bad in that game,
That was that was a hideous.
but the Jets were so much worse. It's that we missed 2 freaking field goals, and that are still even slightly in the game, but yeah, it was just.
And now, it's Mike White time, baby.
Mike White season.
Yes.
I don't understand that. Why they don't know going back to Joe Flacco, who was playing well in the start of the season.
No,
They're still in it.
That would be a sensible or somewhat sensible
Yeah,
decision to make.
but that's it. They're still
Not the
very
Jets
much in
way.
the playoff hunt. So
Mike White is more fun. That's why.
It's more fun.
for us,
it's more
it
fun
will
for
be
us.
definitely. But I just don't understand it for them. I mean, Flacco was playing well.
You get that one-off game from a quarterback, and we had the Mike White game.
Yeah.
The Jets are unaware of the fact that those are one-offs. They assume that happens again and again. So they want just the Mike White game, but every game.
I think you're making a good point though, Baz. Flacco wasn't playing that badly
No, he wasn't.
in relief of Zack Wilson.
I would not have judged if they put Flacco in at all.
I mean,
Unless he's just genuinely showed improvements in training. I think it's almost
Yeah,
it could be similar to the see when Taylor Heineke came in the playoff game against the Bucks, and then kind of started the next season, where he comes in and he goes, right, what does this guy actually play like? And then the defense are like, right, what's going on here? And it can be effective if you don't have a lot of tape on a person that might be showing improvements. In which case, if they're thinking if we can get another 3-4 wins with our defense, and this guy playing where defenses are like, right, maybe need 3 or 4 games to watch tape and go, yeah, this is what they're running. That could be the play here. But I'm sure if he's struggling, I can see Flacco coming in quite soonish as well if he does struggle. So I wouldn't necessarily think that just because it's Mike White starting for this game that's going to be the case for either the full game or for the following weeks as well.
I just did saw a stat today that I found quite funny. Since in the last 2 years, there have been 19 quarterbacks drafted. Only 2 of them have a winning record. Which 2?
Winning record. In the last 5 years?
In the last 2 years,
In the last 2 years.
Does
drafted.
do they have to have played a certain number of games?
No, just total. They have played a game. Have won.
Then Trey Lance is probably one of them.
No.
No? Because he's only played 4. Could have only won 3 of them. So quarterbacks drafted with winning records in the last
Jordan
2
Love
years.
played it?
In the last 2 years.
3
Jordan
years? Or 2 years?
2.
2.
Don't know.
One hint.
Oh, Mac Jones.
Zappy.
Second hint. Oh, Zappy.
That's because Patriots can't play against your own quarterbacks. Well, although Belichick's good at playing rookie quarterbacks, but when it's your own ones, you can't beat them.
It's so insane. I mean, I expected Mac Jones, and then you look Zappy. Okay, and nothing else. Wow, it's so damn bad.
Is that
Especially with
undefeated?
2-0.
Yeah.
2-0. So, final point of discussion then before we get on to picking some games for the weekend. Are we worried about the Eagles? Has the shine come off their season? Because they really struggled against a Colts team, which is not particularly good. Barely scraping a win after losing their first game of the season the week before. Where do we think the Eagles are? Is it just a blip, or is there something deeper than just a blip?
For now, I think it's just a blip because I think it was just a case of they had their first loss and then they won a bit of an ugly game, but actually teams that win ugly like that, when they've been winning a lot already in the season, it tends to just show that they can win in other ways rather than it being a systemic problem. And I just don't see where they don't have a massive glaring weakness in there. There's not like one thing where we've been waiting for somebody to hit that like Achilles heel for the Eagles. They don't really have that. It's just that occasionally they don't play particularly well. But that's the case with all teams. It's incredibly difficult to go unbeaten for an entire year. And the fact that they've only lost 1 is pretty damn impressive at this point.
And even with the one they lost, instantly what they did, they got Linval Joseph, they got Adam Kansu in to strengthen that defensive line for extra run stopping. So yeah, they are working on it. If this continues, if they continue to struggle, yeah, of course you're gonna get worried. But they won the game, and
yeah, you can't blow out every single team every single week. Much as you might like to if you're a fan of that team, you just want to see blowouts because it's less stressful. It's not the nature of the game.
And even
most ones.
And even before this, most of the games they didn't win in blowouts. I mean,
no, they're not a super explosive offense. They're a very well run, sensible offense. You know, then they don't put up like it's not like a Chiefs offense where it's going to put up like 40, 50 points on you, given half a chance.
No, they've put up over 30 points twice this year.
Yeah.
And that was against the Steelers and against the Lions.
They're a bit like sort of the Titans on steroids. They want to physically grind you down to like a pulp. They just want to, just mash you into dust rather than flinging passes all over the shop and everything else. I don't think that plays into Jalen Hurts' strengths. Jalen Hurts' strengths are sort of short, simple, quick reads, or I'm going to run, or I'm going to hand it off. And just keeping it simple and within his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I think that's why AJ Brown is working so damn well with Jalen Hurts. It's exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah.
That tough guy through the middle of the field, just perfect.
Yeah, he gets you the yards after the catch.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ryan? You got any concerns about the Eagles?
Not much more to add, to be honest. Lulls where you don't play as well can happen, whether it be start, end, because you've already won your games or are going to be in the playoffs. I'm not worried. I think they'll be fine, and when they need to mentally ramp it up again, I think they will.
Bounce back game this week against the Packers as well.
Yeah, I don't think that the rest of their schedule is too difficult. So yeah, I think they can start preparing them in terms of what they want to do in the postseason. So
yep, fair enough. It's definitely a watch this space. If they continue to struggle, then maybe we will have more to talk about in a future episode. So to close out the show, what we're going to do is we're all going to pick a game this weekend and predict the score. I shall give out the standings currently in our Thursday Night Predictor League. So in fourth place with 3 points is Baz, followed by Phil in third with 4. And then in joint first is Ryan and I with 6 each.
ooh,
Yeah, my gamble didn't pay off.
No,
Sadly.
it really didn't.
Nope.
So we're all going to pick a game. We're going to predict the score, and we'll see how we all do next week. So I'll go last because I'm gracious like that, and and we'll get Baz. You can pick first.
Yeah, we agreed no gimmies, so I'm going with Commanders Falcons.
Ooh, good shouts. And who do you think's going to win, Commanders? Falcons?
I'm gonna pick the Commanders.
The Commanders.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think they figured themselves out a bit, I think. Especially the offense started to look better. Finally getting McLaurin involved. Dotson is back. Their new guy, John. Who looks pretty decent. So yeah, I'm quite optimistic that they're quietly on their way to the wildcard playoff spot.
Interesting. I would have not picked the Commanders to win that game, so fair play. Phil, what game are you picking?
I'm going to take Bucks Browns and say that the Bucks are going to win because fuck the Browns.
Do you have any more insight into this?
No.
No.
Just fuck the Browns. I mean, the Bucks are playing a lot. They've started to get good, basically. From the win against the Seahawks, which made me very sad. They've shown improvement recently on offense, which is where they were a bit stagnant, but they've started to look a bit more Bucksy. Bucksy-esque.
we've started playing players that should have been starting. Rashad White
Should have been
Nick
started.
Leverett and left guard instead of Gadecki, which was forced, but in there, K. Doughton is improving. You put it perfectly there, but we're starting to look more Bucksy based on that one game. I am still worried about our play calling. It was improved in Munich, but Byron Leftwich has a tendency to revert back to normal. But after the bye in the last 2 years, with a lot of self-scouting, it's got better. So, yeah, I think we'll run the ball effectively on Sunday.
Right. Certainly hope so. Ryan, who are you picking?
I'm going to go with the Jets and the Bears game. I'm going to go Jets win.
Jets
21-20.
win. Oh, of course. What's his name? Is Fields playing?
I think he is playing, yeah.
That is insane. Why are they doing that?
Don't know. But yeah, regardless, Jets win.
The Mike,
Mike White hype train.
It's real. It's real. And here it
I
is.
just think Bears have that uncanny ability that some other teams have to find a way to lose. And as much as Justin Fields has improved this season, the last couple of weeks, he has had opportunities on the final drive to go and win the game for the Bears, and he hasn't done it. And I feel like that could be the same this Sunday. They'll find a way to get beat off the Mike White-led Jets.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so finally, rounding out the show, my pick. I'm going to be picking the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm going to pick the Jaguars to beat the Baltimore Ravens.
Now, there's an interesting pick.
Because I think that the Jacksonville defensive line is going to give Lamar Jackson all kinds of problems. This season, especially when Jackson's been under pressure, he has not played well. His passing game has been really poor under pressure, and this Jacksonville defensive line are surprisingly good. And I think Trevor Lawrence is getting better all the time in every game. So yeah, I think the Jaguars certainly have like better than a puncher's chance. I think they'll probably lose this game 8 times out of 10, but I'm banking on that 2 times out of 10 that they'll actually pull this game out. So I'm going Jaguars versus the Ravens.
Nice.
I'm hoping for a good game for Travis Etienne then.
Awesome. Cool. Well, that just about wraps up another excellent live stream. Thank you, everyone. It's been great having everyone back. It's been a lot of fun. I'll see you all in 6 days' time, where we will see just how crazy all these crazy picks were.
Yeah.
Mike White. Woo.
Woo!
Mike White.
Heineke!
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you all next time.